Hey everybody. Um, so what I'm going to do is do a video that's based off of a question I got on Instagram, and someone was asking me about my references, not my like job references, but you know the references for the kinds of things I do. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to do a Game of Thrones character, and I don't really know which one. So I'm going to just walk you through how it works for me and what I do. So the first thing I do if I'm going to draw somebody who exists is I'm going to look them up on the Google machine. So this character here was, what's his name? I'm so bad with names. Tormund Giantsbane. I don't know. That's his name in the show. So him, the redheaded guy. And I want to draw him. So the first thing I do is I just go find reference pictures. So I'll go up here to costume, and I'll see a few that look good. That guy, and I'll just copy the image, and I'll just paste it into a Photoshop file. So I'll do that a few times, just so I get the right look. Sure. A lot of furs. Apparently. Big on the fur. Got a good look to his face. I like that. Ginger. Yeah. I'm kidding. And then I'll just put those in here, and now I usually draw things square. So this is my square canvas, but I don't want to have all the reference pictures sitting on top of that. So what I'll do is go up here and go to image, canvas size. I'll put the center point over there, and percentage wise I'll just make it 200% wider, and now it's wider. Oh, actually before I do that, I'll do that again. Canvas size over there. The other thing I'll do is I'll change the background color a little bit, so it's a little bit gray. You see that? A little bit gray. Again, 200%. Boom. Now it's there. Now I know where to crop. And I'll just move all the reference images over there. By the way, if you don't know this trick, this is the move tool. And if you look at the controls for the move tool, up here you see auto select, which I didn't know about for the longest time, but I love. Because if you click that on, it makes active whatever layer you click on with the move tool. So this one, and then this one, and then this one. Then I don't have to go through the layer palette. This guy, I don't have to go through and select the layers. I can get rid of that, and I can just do it, boom, by hand. Way better. So that's the first step. And now what I'm going to do is make another layer. I don't really care what I call it. And I'll take my brush tool, and if you guys are wondering what brush I use, you should know by now. You go to my YouTube videos, there's a video just on brushes. So I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to sketch him out. So this guy looks to me like he's got kind of a, usually I just start with like the shape of the head. Sure, that looks about right for now. I mean, this is really rough, right? And then I'm going to work this up a few times, but I want to kind of get some general ideas down that I like. Got kind of a pointy nose, got crazy eyebrows. He's a wildling, so he's got wild eyes and freckles, but I'll do those later. What I find usually is the first time I draw something, I'm not very comfortable with it, with that drawing. And then if I draw it over and over like 2 or 3 times, over time I simplify it. And it kind of gets down to like the essence of what it should be, which is where I want it to be. If that makes any sense to anybody. Crazy beard. Beard's got a funny shape to it too. It kind of goes off this way. I wonder if that's really his beard. I'm just jealous because I can't grow one. Freckles. Move that down a bit. It's sort of hitting the top there. So again, it's not really like, this is not good. Does he have long hair, or has he got like, I think he's got like this, right? Like that much. That's about right. And then it looks like, what is he wearing? I think just chunks of rags, leather rags with big furry bits on them. So what I'm drawing is only like to here. So I don't really care about the rest of his body right now. I'm just kind of worried about getting this much of him. So he's got like this, he's got like a wildling infinity scarf kind of a thing going on. It's very stylish. So there's the first one. It's not great. I'll kind of make it a bit smaller. And I'll put it over here. Maybe here. I'm going to do another one. So I'll make another layer. Go again. So now I have like a little bit of a better understanding, I think, as to what he looks like. Or it's giving me another idea about like how to stylize him a little bit more. I find usually what happens is over time, you know, with each drawing of something, I tend to stylize it a bit more. I did like that nose though. That was good. So I'm going to keep that. I don't know about his eyes though. That feels good. See how it's less realistic now? Just a little more stylized. If I keep going, like if I drew this for days, I get so sick of them. I don't draw these for days, by the way. I get so sick of them that I just reduce them down to like 3 lines. And no one would know. Yeah, that's better. So I want to keep the shape that I got here. I like the shape of the hair, the overall outline of the hair. But I want to do that here. So I don't like that one. So I'll draw that bit over. See, that last one didn't feel right. Kind of like there. Sure. Trial and error. A lot of back and forth. But what I really want to get it down to is just something simple. I don't want to go for anything too complicated or realistic. It's kind of not my thing. I don't like realistic so much. Fine for others. Not for that beard is crazy. There's no way that's real. What do you think? Something like that. And he's got a good hairline too. Very unique. And then with furry bits, the infinity scarf. What if I did it higher? So it's more like, you know, high. I'm good with words. I'm liking this one. I think I got it. So now, this one can go away. This one's going to be the one I use. And that's just a rough. So usually what I do now is I take this layer, that's this guy here. Boop. I'm bad with organizing my layers, by the way. You can see it's just kind of all over the place, but I don't care. I don't care. Okay, I'll organize it for you. There's my reference. So boom, and that layer, and I'll group them. Control G, and I'll call it ref. And then I will turn it off. And then I will delete the old layer, and I'm just left with this one. Okay, so now what I do, I take it and I knock the opacity down to like that much. Right? Looks good? Okay. And then I make another layer on top of it, 100%. And that is going to be my final layer. I just did air quotes. I don't know why. You can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so now I'm just going to start working on the final ink for this guy. And what I like to do a lot is really like different line weights. So I'll make the brush bigger or smaller depending on what I'm drawing. But I like the look of like different weights for different things, and you emphasize certain things. And oh, and to get a really straight line like this one, two things. One, I always motorbikes. I always end up redrawing circles like 5 times, it seems, every time. And then to get a straight line like that eyelid there, I just hold down Shift, and that makes the line I draw straight, just like that. Oops. There. So yeah, really stylized to this point. So now I've drawn this guy like 3 times, now you've seen. And I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with how he looks, even though I can't seem to draw a mustache to save my life. And I like the shapes I'm getting now. So if you want to see the final version of this, go to my Instagram account, and it's jeff.coates. I think. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And subscribe to me there. So the freckles I'm not going to draw in black. I'm going to do those on the color layer when I get to that. But I don't think I'm going to record that long. I want to keep these videos a little bit shorter so they're not really tedious for people, because this is super exciting. So that's where I get my references, the internet. And then everything else is just draw it and draw it and draw it and draw it. And that's, I think, the general piece of advice I'd give anybody who wants to get comfortable drawing a bunch of different things. Sorry about the Facebook notice. Is just draw it over and over again until you get comfortable with it. So with this guy, I drew him just a few times, and you could see I was getting a little bit more comfortable with how I was drawing him. But that's basically true of everything I do. Eyes, noses, hands. Well, I'm not super comfortable with hands still, but after all these years. I have a few, like you get used to drawing things a certain way, and then that sticks. So I draw hands a certain way. Even though I'm not comfortable with them, and the way that I draw them kind of works for me. So just do the same. Draw and draw and draw the same thing over and over again, try it a different way, see how other people draw it, and take what you like, leave the rest, as I think I heard somebody say once. And that's what you do. So there's my guy. So from that guy to that guy, that's what I do. Hope that helped. Good night.